Her scream tore through the desert wind. When Cole Harding reached the ridge, he saw her, a young woman half buried in dust and blood. Her wrists were bound behind her back, rope stretched from her ankles to wooden stakes driven deep into the ground, holding her body in cruel tension beneath the burning sun. Torn clothes clung to her skin, streaked with blood and sand. The heat shimmered off the earth like fire, and for a moment, Cole thought he was staring at a ghost. Every breath she took came as a dry, broken sob that didn't sound human anymore. Her body trembled with exhaustion. Then he heard it, deeper, "Please, I can't take it anymore." For a heartbeat, Cole froze. The word sounded like sin, but when he rode closer, he saw the truth. Her lips were cracked, her throat raw from screaming. She wasn't begging for pleasure. She was begging for air. He jumped off his horse, knife in hand. The ropes had cut deep into her skin. Flies hovered over dried blood. Cole sliced one knot, then another. She gasped, half fainting, half fighting. Her eyes flicked open, wild, terrified, and she whispered one word. "Help." He lifted her gently, feeling her pulse, weak, fluttering like a wounded bird. Whoever did this wasn't just cruel, they enjoyed it. Cole scanned the barren land, no tracks, no sound but the wind and her broken breathing. He poured a few drops of water onto her lips. She winced and whispered about a man in a black coat, and a camera. Cole's stomach turned cold. His eyes caught something glinting half buried in the sand, a shard of glass. It flashed once, sharp and real. A broken camera lens. "Jesus," he muttered. "This ain't my sin." In that moment, the whole picture flipped. What looked filthy became a rescue from hell. The woman wasn't a sinner. She was a victim. And the man who found her wasn't part of the crime, he was about to uncover it. Cole carried her to his horse and rode toward his ranch. Every breath she took sounded like a confession. He didn't even know her name yet, but her eyes told him this wasn't random. Someone wanted her broken. Someone wanted her to be found. That evening, the desert turned the color of whiskey as Cole tied his horse outside the barn. He carried her inside, laid her down on a cot, and pressed a damp cloth to her burning forehead. "You're safe now, whoever you are," he whispered. Outside, the desert seemed too quiet, as if waiting for something ugly to crawl out. Miles away, a man named Jack Blackwell wiped dust off a wooden camera. He wore a black duster and a hat pulled low, eyes cold as winter snakes. Once, they called him a bounty gun. Now, he hunted souls with a camera. Glass plates coated in silver nitrate, images that could ruin lives. Beside him lay a letter sealed in red wax, $5,000 payment due when the banker sees what his daughter has become. Jack chuckled, lighting a cigarette. "Guess the show's over," he muttered. When he reached the clearing and found the girl gone, stakes broken, ropes cut, he smiled coldly. Then he bent, brushed the sand, and saw a single boot print. "Rancher's heel." "Well now, cowboy," he said. "Looks like you walked right into my picture." Back at the barn, the girl stirred in her sleep, mumbling about a black coat and a camera clicking in the dark. Cole turned the glass shard over in his hand, firelight catching its edge. Outside, the wind carried a smell he didn't like, sulfur and smoke, like gunpowder. He stepped onto the porch, rifle ready. No sound. No movement. But somewhere in the distance, a lens cap snapped shut. When the girl awoke, dawn was creeping in. She sat up weakly, wearing one of his shirts, eyes sharp despite her pain. "My name's Evelyn," she whispered. "Name suits you," Cole said softly. "The man who tied me," she continued, "said he'd come back for the pictures." Cole's hand froze. "Pictures," he muttered. He moved to the window, scanning the dark hills. "If he's coming, he won't leave again." A horse neighed outside, too close. Cole whispered, "Stay low." The barn door creaked open. A shadow stepped in, reeking of smoke and silver. Blackwell. Cole moved first, swinging his rifle stock across Jack's jaw. The man staggered, then lunged, fists heavy and fast. They fought hard, the lantern swinging above them, throwing wild shadows like other men fighting in the dark. Horses kicked in their stalls, screaming as if they felt it too. Evelyn crawled toward the saddle stand, hand finding a knife hidden in her boot. When Jack pinned Cole, she drove the blade deep into his thigh. He howled, but Cole broke free, slamming him against the post. The fight ended with a crack of bone and silence. Cole tied Jack to the beam, blood dripping slow to the floor. Then he grabbed the camera plates stacked by the door and smashed them one by one. Each shatter sounded like justice breaking free. Evelyn slumped against the wall, shaking. Cole looked at her. "It's over." She shook her head. "Not yet. My father will think I shamed him." Cole's jaw tightened. "Then let him see who really did the shaming." At sunrise, Sheriff Amos Reed rode in with 2 deputies. Cole met them on the porch, rifle low but ready. "Trouble in my barn," he said. Inside, Jack still hung from the post, half conscious and mean as a cornered coyote. The sheriff crouched, picked up a shard of glass. "Smells like flash powder," he said. "He's been using those new wet plates." Evelyn stepped forward. "He took pictures of me. Sent letters to my father. Asked for 5,000 to keep them from printing." The sheriff nodded grimly. "Chain him. We ride at dawn." Jack spat blood and sneered. "You think a judge will hang me? The man paying me owns that courthouse." The sheriff's jaw clenched. "Then maybe justice will find another way." By morning, Jack Blackwell was found dead in his cell. Rope around his neck. No note. Maybe suicide. Maybe the desert finished what men couldn't. A few hours later, a polished carriage rolled up to Cole's ranch. Out stepped Silas Hart, the banker. Evelyn's father. His suit gleamed black as his soul. He looked around, disgusted. "So this is where my daughter's been hiding," he said coldly. "I wasn't hiding," Evelyn answered. "I was surviving." Silas turned to Cole. "You saved her life, rancher. I'll pay you for that, but stay away from her." Cole didn't flinch. "She's not for sale." Silas's voice cracked with fury. "You think you're good enough for my blood?" "She's not your blood anymore," Evelyn said quietly. "She's mine." The wind went still. Silas turned pale, climbed back into his carriage, and rode away, his anger trailing behind like dust. Days passed. The ranch grew quiet again. Evelyn worked beside Cole, her strength slowly returning. The fever left her, but the scars stayed. Some days she barely lifted a bucket. Others, she practiced shooting, steady and calm. When she hit her first tin can, Cole smiled. "Not bad for a banker's daughter." She laughed. "Not bad for a rancher's teacher." They didn't need to say the word love, it lived in their silence, in the way they breathed together at sunset. But love in the West was never safe. Weeks later, 2 hired riders came asking questions, pretending to be lawmen. Cole sent them away without a word. After that, no one came again. That night, Evelyn burned her father's letters in the fire. The flames swallowed them whole. "I already lost everything," she said. "Now I'm building what's real." Cole watched her, pride burning in his eyes. He handed her his Colt. "Then keep this. Next time someone tries to frame you, show them how a free woman aims." By midsummer, the land turned gold, the sky heavy with heat. Sheriff Reed rode by, tipped his hat. "Guess the desert ain't such a lonely place anymore." That night, Evelyn stood on the porch, watching the sun drown in a red horizon. "Some men frame you," she whispered, others break the lens. Cole wrapped his arms around her shoulders. The air smelled of rain and dust and new beginnings. As thunder rolled across the plains, they both knew what they'd chosen wasn't easy, but it was theirs. Because sometimes love isn't about running from the storm. It's about learning to ride through it, together.